Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and get started with the introduction so that we can hand it over to Emma and get started today. People will probably join a little bit throughout the beginning minutes here, but my name is Kara Smith. I am the Executive Director of Gallup MainStreet Arts and Cultural District, and we're really excited to be hosting this workshop series through our Downtown Gallup Business Resource Center initiative. This is an initiative to provide resources to small business owners, aspiring business owners, and entrepreneurs in Gallup. And I'm going to throw a link in the chat to the Resource Center, as well as the other workshops we're hosting as part of this. You can find them there through this link. And so if you don't know how to navigate to your chat, if you find the little chat button, we'll probably be sharing some things in there during this session, namely a worksheet that Emma's created for a kind of a PDF takeaway that you can have for this workshop. So I'll throw a link to that as well now. Well, maybe in 1 minute once I get done talking. But anyways, we're really excited to have Emma here teaching this workshop in particular. She's the production and engineering assistant at KGLP 91.7, our local public radio station here in Gallup, and also has a background in filmmaking and media. So this class is right up her alley, and we're really excited to have her here to share some wisdom with us about using video for marketing as a small business owner. Video is such an important tool currently for us in this landscape, not just due to COVID-19, but also just based on how people are engaging in social media anyways. Just data shows over and over that video is more engaging content online, especially when we're talking about social media. So this should be really helpful. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Emma. And like I said, keep an eye on the chat. I will get the link to the workshop there. But to the worksheet. I will turn it over to you now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Kara, for the introduction. I'm going to share my screen so I can share the presentation I have for you. And I agree with Kara that video is very important, and we will get to that in this workshop today. So like Kara said, I'm the production and engineering assistant at KGLP. I also have work experience at the Navajo Nation. I was media production for their film department last summer, and I'll actually show some examples of the work that I did there in this workshop to illustrate different ways that we can use video marketing. So today we're going to discuss the different types of video your business can create, some basic video production tips such as lighting, camera placement, audio, that sort of thing, a little bit on editing, distribution, and once you distribute your videos, how to measure the success. So a little bit of, okay, so what is video marketing? What we now know as video marketing isn't the same as what it has been in previous decades. It's not the same thing as traditional television commercials. It doesn't need to cost a lot of money or time to produce. You don't need a lot of people. You can spend 20 minutes and make something really high quality. It can be very simple, direct, and personable. Actually, the more personable your video is, the more of an authentic experience you'll have with your customer. And there's a bunch of different types of videos that you can create for your audience. It can be informational videos, tutorials, product description videos, and we'll get into all of that later. And I think that the most important part of video marketing is that it creates a relationship of trust between you and your consumer, because it's really easy to fake photos, fake text, but it's kind of harder to fake video. And so when someone sees a video of your product or of your business, it establishes a little bit more trust. Some statistics that I found about video marketing. Obviously, people have been speaking to one another for longer than they have been typing and reading and writing. So it's only natural that people like to consume spoken word content, and 72% of people would rather watch a video about a topic they're interested in than reading text on the same page. And to illustrate the trust aspect, 90% of consumers say that watching a product video online makes them more confident in their purchasing decisions. And we'll get into a little bit more about email marketing later, but even just having video in your email subject line will increase open rates of your video by 19%. That might not seem like a lot, but if you've done any email marketing before, you know that's really hard to get people to open up their emails. So 19% increase is quite significant. And like I said before, your videos don't have to be high production value. Something with a lower production value can actually increase the authenticity. So before we get into some production tips, we're going to talk about some video ideas and maybe get you inspired for things that you can do for your business. So one common use of video on company websites is a video banner for your website homepage, and I'll pull up 2 examples of that and that I have done in the past. This first one is for a mailing service business, and you can see that it kind of right off the bat gives you a comprehensive view of what this business does. Kind of establishes trust right off the bat. Gives you an idea of what this business is about. And then I'll pull up another one from Navajo Nation TV. Okay, so I'm not going to click on it again because I don't want to risk that happening again, but the where you can see that picture is, it's a moving video banner of footage that shows what that organization does. Another really common type of video is a brand introduction video. This will showcase your company's story, mission, products, and services, kind of just give a really comprehensive view of your business to your audience. It shouldn't be longer than 2 minutes, just something really short and sweet to get the point across. And here's an example. This one kind of has a high production value, but you could do something like this, but a little bit more toned down. This is for a glasses company. That was like 30 or 40 seconds, but something really short that gets to the punch, poppy. It's a good brand introduction video. For consumer good companies, product video, something really simple, just you in front of a camera describing one of your products can be really useful. Also, if there's a new product that you have, it could be an announcement of a new product arrival. Just you holding up the product, describing what it's about. And I think this is a good example of that. So you kind of get the idea. But for companies that, or organizations that are more service-based than product-based, what you can do is a process video. So kind of a general overview process of what the experience will be like for your client. You can say, first we'll schedule an appointment with our office, then we'll meet and put together a plan, then we'll put that plan into action. Something really simple and basic, but will give your client an idea of the timeline and process of what it's like to work with your organization. This is kind of an example of that. Another glasses company that just goes through the process of how to order glasses on their website. And a type of video like this could easily be an article, but like a written piece. But instead of doing that, you can just create a video that'll be a little bit more engaging for your audience. Another thing that you could do is an explainer video. If you are an expert in a certain field, explaining in detail your product to your audience, comparing different products, the pros and cons. This is something that will get like a lot more views than traditional advertising, because this is something that people really want to know about the market, about expertise. One example that I found was Yale Appliance. They're an appliance dealer on the East Coast, a small company, but they have a pretty big YouTube following because they make these really good YouTube videos about dishwashers and fridges and comparing the pros and cons of each one and just kind of sharing their expertise. And for a small company now, some of their videos have over 300,000 views. So I think this is a really great way to establish legacy for your company, recognition. And for Yale Appliance, in their About segment on their YouTube channel, I think they describe that pretty well. They say, rather than shouting at people through advertising, our goal is to inform and educate you so you can make the best decision for your next appliance purchase. And here's an example of one of their videos.
Bosch dishwashers. For more detailed information about this and other subjects, follow the links below. So Bosch is a German company, but a lot of their...
So you kind of get the idea. Another idea is an origin video. Everybody likes a good story and people are interested in the people behind your business. I think that's especially important in a town like Gallup. You want to maintain a good reputation and a good story. So you can kind of choose that narrative for yourself if you make an origin video story. I found an example from a brewing company, and they kind of mix a good balance of story and advertising their mission.
When we started the company, I think we thought that we needed to be just like everyone else, making just decent beers, but nothing that was really setting the world on fire. And through time, that kind of caught up with us. Our loan officer called and said, Mike, we can't keep doing this anymore. On Monday, we are going to put a lock on your door. We've put ourselves into this situation over beers that we weren't really even that proud of. And so
just like a video that kind of explains how you came to form the mission of your organization. This one's kind of related to the the Yale retailer that I pointed out earlier. But educational and tutorial videos, these were also something that'll get a lot of views and will position your company as a leader in your field. If you're an expert in something, it's good to share that expertise online. From whatever it is, whether it's buying a house, saving money for retirement, if you are a restaurant, recipe ideas, just sharing your niche. And this example is from River Pools, a pool construction company, and they just share a bunch of information about buying pools. And they said that on their website, their videos doubled their annual flow of leads and increased the size of their dealer network by 5%. So kind of the same thing.
Hey, what's up guys? Christian here with River Pools. Listen, the sun is shining, summer is fast approaching. It's time to get this pool and our other 3 pools in our pool park up and running for homeowners to come out and check out the prospect of installing a pool in their backyard. If that's you, you should subscribe.
And the final,
Hey, what's up guys?
the final type of video that you can produce is something that's really, really simple. And this one can be really low production quality, just kind of a selfie style thank you video. And so establish loyalty with your customer, make them feel appreciated, and it can really just take like 20 seconds to record something like this.
Hi, and thank you for downloading my PDF with the daily routine. It should be winging its way over to your inbox right now. So now that you've got this PDF, you're going to want to start generating leads. And I've got just the training to show you.
Yep.
Hi, and thank you.
Something really simple like that. So now we'll get into the fun part, production. And start off with lighting. If this workshop is about mostly smartphone produced videos, and smartphones need a lot of light to produce high quality video. So I think that natural sunlight is your greatest resource, and but it's also, natural sunlight can be really powerful and it can create some kind of ugly lighting with shadows too. So we need to kind of take sunlight and control it. I think a great way to do that is to do interviews near a window. That always looks good. And I'll go into some visual examples of this in the next few slides, but also overhead lights and office lights really look good. They cast harsh shadows as well, and lamps and studio lights are preferable to that. So here we have an example of, these are both indoor lighting, but one is with ceiling lights on the left, and on the right is with just regular lamps that you can find around your home. You can also, if you want to invest a little bit more money, you can purchase studio lights, but often if you're just making something really quick, a lamp will do the job. And with utilizing sunlight, like I said before, it can be very powerful. So you always want to face towards the window, face towards the sunlight, rather than having the sunlight to your back, like like we have on the left-hand side, because that's not going to look very good. But on the right-hand side, you can see that looks way better, and all you have to do is change the position of your camera. And so, but yeah, sunlight and all lights can cause harsh shadows. So what I like to do is just, when I'm setting up a video, just constantly ask myself, does this look good? If this doesn't look good, what can I do to make it look better? Can I change positions? Can I diffuse the light, step under a tree, something like that. This is the difference between midday lighting and golden hour or sunset lighting. You can see the pictures on the left. There's really harsh shadows cast on this woman's face. doesn't look very good, but on the right, you'll see the lighting looks really soft and nice. So I would recommend either trying to film during, if you're going to go outside to film, do that during the really early morning hours or during sunlight or sunset. And if you are going to go out and film during high noon hours, you can always just constantly ask yourself, does this look good? What can I do to make it look better? Step under a tree, diffuse the light a little bit. And you can see in this example, they diffused this with like a piece of cloth to make those highlights and shadows less drastic. You can easily do something like that, or just find a better spot under a tree for lighting. So moving on to camera, there's a few tips that you can use there. Horizontal video is the most universal. That's because our eyes are horizontal and not vertical. So it's natural to watch something on a horizontal screen. It matches how our eyes see the world. Vertical video can be used, but that kind of video won't be as long lasting. You won't be able to really watch that for years to come. It'll be something you just share really quickly to get like a quick message out. And framing your shot is really important. We'll go over some framing rules, like the rule of thirds, in later slides, but I think that when you're making videos for your business or organization, something really easy that you can do is just clean up clutter in the background, have a really clean shot, and have no unnecessary information, because everything that's in your shot is giving your audience information. So only give them what you want them to know. Framing your shot, you can go from an extreme long shot to an extreme close-up. And you can see you have way more information in the extreme long shot than the extreme close-up. So that gives you an idea of how much information you're giving your audience. And if you are in a limited space and you can't clean up everything in your space, then doing a close-up will give you a better result. Here I have an example of a poorly shot video and what you could have done differently on the right-hand side to make it look a little bit better. On the left-hand side, the woman is in the middle of the frame, which doesn't look too great, and I'll get to that later. The window is coming from behind her. The camera is uneven, and what else? There's harsh shadows on her face, and the background has a bunch of non-interesting stuff, water bottles and boxes that's not relevant to the story. On the right-hand side, you can see that if they had just taken this woman and asked her to sit near the window, they could have had the window shining onto the sunlight shining onto her face. And if you even the camera out, then it would have been a more stable shot, and you could have had that white background in the back. What else? Also, this one has mixed lighting. So there's sunlight coming in from the window, and then ceiling lights, which is something that you don't want to do as well. You want to stick with either all natural sunlight or all the same color of indoor lights. The rule of thirds is something really easy that you can use in framing any of your projects, any of your shots. And the rule of thirds explains that you take your frame and then you draw 4 lines throughout the frame like this. And you want your subject matter to exist either on one of the lines or on one of the intersections of the lines. So you can see that this dog, this boy, a seashell, all kind of align with the rule of thirds. And I'll show you an example of something that doesn't align with the rule of thirds in a later slide. Yeah, right here. So another important thing to keep in mind for interview style shots, you want to have your interviewee on, let's see, well, you want them to be facing, if they're going to be on this line of the rule of thirds, you want their nose to be facing this way, and they're kind of looking this way, positioned this way. If they're over to this side, you want them to be facing this way. And this is an example of what not to do. You wouldn't want somebody on this line of the rule of thirds looking this way and talking to the interviewer like that, because that doesn't really look too good. So you want to have their, whatever direction their nose is facing, to have more space in that direction. You can, a lot of the content you can produce can just be with your phone and with really any equipment that you already have. But if you want to go the extra step, you can purchase a tripod that can give you some more interesting camera angles, a more steady shot for if it's going to be just you talking to the camera. You can also purchase an external microphone, like a lavalier shotgun microphone. I'll get to audio in a future slide. And you can also purchase studio lights, but the lamps that you have around the house can usually get you to a good place. And natural lighting. Yeah, so audio quality is just as important as video quality. For any production, if you have really good video but really bad audio, it's not going to be a very engaging piece for your audience. Some people say that audio is more important than video, and that if you have good audio and bad video, that will be still a pretty engaging piece for your audience. If you're going to be shooting on your smartphone, you can use the microphone on your smartphone, but you should get that the camera, the phone, as close to your subject as possible, as close as to the source of audio. The farther away you get, the worse it's going to sound. You also want to eliminate all background noise. That could include wind, a refrigerator, like a TV running, just any low frequency kind of noises that you don't really notice, but the camera is going to notice when it picks it up. If you want to go the extra mile, you can purchase a lavalier microphone for your smartphone. I've seen some of these as low as $20, and you plug it into the audio jack of your smartphone, and that's the receiver, and then you give the microphone to your subject. They wear the microphone, and it'll pick up the audio and send it to your device. I have an example of that.
Hey everyone, Kane here. We've had a lot of questions from people asking how to use a lavalier or lapel mic to get great sound for your videos, live streams, and conference calls. So let's get into it. A lavalier mic is a small microphone that you can clip onto clothing. You will have seen many TV presenters, bloggers, and filmmakers using them. They deliver great, clear sound due to the fact that they can be positioned quite close to the mouth. They're also unobtrusive and allow complete freedom with your hands. There are two things to consider when using a lavalier mic. The first is how to position it, and the second is how to connect it to your camera, phone, or laptop. There are a few different...
Okay, so you get the idea. Another important thing to keep in mind in production is that if you're going to be doing an interview style video, it's important to get BRoll, which is video that you match up with the words that you're saying. So if you're talking about a certain aspect of your business, about writing up proposals, then you have a supplemental footage of somebody actually doing that, and then you overlay that of the footage of someone actually talking about doing that activity. And having a lot of B-roll can make your, when you're editing, can make your video more smooth because you can hide your cuts by putting the B-roll over the cuts. It'll give your video more flow and illustrate your point more. And so I'll give you an example of B-roll here. So we have our the interviewee talking, and then as he's talking, there's going to be footage over what he's saying, and that's B-roll.
An innovative company since its beginning in 1926, when it started as a rayon manufacturing company in Kurashiki, Japan. Today, Kuraray is close to a $5 billion global specialty chemical, polymer, and film company, meeting the needs of industrial consumers. To innovate its way towards growth. So they embarked upon developing new applications for PBOH, polyvinyl alcohol.
So all that stuff is B-roll. So now we'll touch on post-production. When filming with your smartphone, you can choose to either edit on a computer or on your smartphone. I think that the editing directly on your smartphone will be something that's very simple, mostly trimming the beginning and end of your video. For apps, I would recommend editing on your smartphone is Adobe Rush. Adobe Creative Cloud is kind of the industry standard for all online. They have Photoshop and Adobe Premiere and Illustrator. So all online marketing really happens within the Adobe Creative Cloud, and Adobe Rush is a free app that they have for editing on a smartphone. So it's really cool that they have that available for free, and I think that's a really good smartphone editing app. If you're going to edit on your computer, there are two main free video editing softwares, which are Windows Movie Maker and iMovie. So if you have either Windows or Mac, you can get those for free if you want to do something a little bit more complex on your computer. And using these softwares, you can add titles, mix sound, add music, cut out any unwanted pauses, correct the color, and add that B-roll we just discussed. And I'm not going to talk too much about editing. There's a lot of YouTube videos that you can watch that will get you there. I'm going to show you one of them now.
In this video, we're going to learn how to use Adobe Rush in only 10 minutes. Now, I'm going to show you everything you need to know in order to edit your first video in Adobe Rush. But besides that, I'm also going to share with you a few tips and tricks the tool you use if you want to select multiple clips. All right, let's go over to the right side. We see titles, transitions, color, speed, audio.
So yeah, you can go on YouTube and find all of information related to editing.
In this video,
so we'll get on to distribution. There's a lot of different sites that you can distribute your content for free, which is really great. One way is email marketing, and video will make your marketing emails a lot more engaging for your audience. People prefer visual emails for email marketing, and video just gets you there a lot further. And I found that video marketing increases open rates by 19%, increases click-through rates by 65%. So people actually clicking on some link in your video, in your email, and reduces unsubscribe rates by 26%. You can also pursue video ads on a bunch of different sites like Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram. This will cost you a little bit of money, but should be a pretty good return on investment for you, because these platforms have a pretty good idea of what their customers want to see and what their customers are viewing already, so it will be relevant for your customer. YouTube is the default destination for most video on the internet. Posting your video there makes it really easy to embed into other websites and to share on other websites like Facebook and Twitter. And on YouTube, you can feel free to go a little bit longer than you would on Facebook or Instagram and have a little bit more in-depth content. Instagram is also one of the most active video platforms. They have a bunch of different ways to share video, from stories to video posts, ads, live broadcasts. But Instagram posts should be a little bit different than YouTube posts. They should have shorter length, be a little bit more quick with the edits, and have a caption that includes a call to action. These are actually YouTube videos that I edited, but they kind of show the style of what an Instagram post should look like. Something maybe like with a catchy song and a little bit more graphics based, like with this text graphic on the bottom. You can also share on Facebook, but something to keep in mind, posting on Facebook, it won't be as easy for people to find your videos in the long term. On YouTube, people will watch those videos for years to come, whereas on Facebook, it will kind of be something that you just watch once and then it's over with. So you probably want to post something that's more topical for Facebook, in my opinion. And the final segment will be about measuring success. It's easy to just look at the view count and think that that's what success is for video marketing. But there's, I think for businesses especially, there's a lot of other things to take into consideration, such as the play rate. So if you embed a video on your website, that's the amount of people who go on the website and actually press play. So how enticing your video is on your website. Engagement is how long people are actually watching your video. So if they're watching it for 3 seconds, or if they're watching to the very end. And with engagement analytics, you can see if people are stopping or starting to stop watching at a certain point. And then you can see if it's kind of, that part of the video is kind of boring, and if you need to make your videos a little bit more concise and short. Social sharing is how many people share your video with friends or on their own social networks, and creating those kind of explainer videos and tutorials is something that's going to get shared widely compared to just a traditional advertising video. Nobody really wants to share that. The click-through rate is how many people take action based off of watching your video. So if they go to watch another video, or if they click on some other part of your website, that's an important statistic to know, especially for businesses. Conversion rate is how many people who watched your video converted into a sale, and that's a statistic that's kind of harder to know about. because you can't really quantify that or know for sure, like if someone watched a video and it stuck with them and they came back a week later and purchased something. So you can kind of tell your conversion rate based off of the feedback that you get. So if you're hearing your customers say that they really liked your video, then I think that's a good indication that you're doing a good job. That completes a workshop for today.
Thank you, Emma. I know we're in the same space. That's weird. I know that I learned a ton. I don't know about our participants here, but I wanted to offer just a few things to add on to some of the things Emma offered. And one is just to say that, you know, through the Resource Center and the work that we do at Gallup MainStreet, we have additional resources for video taking. So if you wanted to come to the Resource Center and learn, utilize a tripod here, utilize a lavalier mic here, utilize some studio lights here, or if you wanted us to come and bring some of those to your business to help you with your videos, those are services that we have through the Resource Center. We have some of those, the equipment that Emma mentioned here today. We'll also be offering additional workshops. So if there's a particular aspect of this, I mean, for example, video editing that stands out, we can offer additional workshops on these tools. And then third, as it really relates to distribution, our entire social media series for small businesses keeps emphasizing video. For those of you who were in Raquel's workshop last week, video came up a lot. So we'll continue to have those, the video will be a part of those workshops. So those will be continue to have learning tools about what to do with your video once you have it. And then, you know, I will just say that one of the things we learned through doing video, both through our virtual concert series, as well as through our Dig Into Downtown Stories series, which features the stories of small business owners, was that, I mean, Facebook is a great distribution platform, but Emma's right, it's harder to find, it's way easier to search on YouTube. So we kind of hit all the targets with that. We just went for it and uploaded the video to all three platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And it saw really different success with it. And so what Emma pointed out is right. We didn't do a special edit for Instagram. And so it was almost a waste of time to upload them to Instagram because we didn't spend time doing something that made more sense for that platform. More people watched on Facebook, but that's because when we posted the videos, we paid to boost them. So by paying not much, by the way, like under $10 to distribute the videos just to the Gallup area, we got Gallup, actually we did our whole region. We did the whole Four Corners region. We got way more views. So if you're going to invest the time as a business owner to do something, say like an origin video, an origin story video, or even if you wanted to share the video that we made of your business, for those of you on the call what have participated in our series, you know, you could pay on Facebook to boost that to a targeted audience. So kind of who you're trying to reach through your business. And it doesn't take a ton of money for it to go very far. But YouTube is still definitely the most organic, or the best way to host something for a longer term. It's way easier to find. Its SEO is really good. So if I'm Googling you know, Red Rock Insurance video, it's way more likely that that video on YouTube is going to come up. That video on Facebook probably isn't going to come up. Facebook really works for that immediate distribution, but doesn't really host that long term. So sometimes it's good to hit both fronts so you cover both your bases. So I just wanted to share that lessons learned from doing a ton of videos over the last 6 months. And I will say that I learned editing for both of those series by watching YouTube, and it was really simple. It really is. I use a Mac, so I learned iMovie, simple editing, adding BRoll, adding music. I learned all that very quickly and very simply, and it goes a really long way. So it definitely is possible, and maybe that's a workshop we can offer in the future, in the near future as well. if folks are interested. But I just wanted to let you know that it's totally possible, because I knew nothing about editing videos, and somehow managed to add graphics and titles and all of those things for both of those video series. And I'd be happy to help share that knowledge as well. But like I said, I think it'll make a great workshop. So with that, I wanted to